Let's get excited to know the top 4 carbs you can enjoy while trying to keep your blood glucose levels low. First off, you have the most underrated sugar balancing champions, lentils. Lentils, whether red, green, yellow, black, or brown, have a significantly low glycemic index of around 29 and a low glycemic load of around 12.5 and 19.6. Are you wondering what's meant by glycemic index and glycemic load? Well, not all carbohydrates are created equal. In fact, some can help control blood sugar levels because they don't cause a rapid spike thanks to their low GI and GL. The glycemic index measures how quickly a food may raise your blood sugar. The scientists use a scale of 0 to 100 to determine the glycemic index of a food. The lower the glycemic index is, the slower your blood glucose levels go up. On the other hand, the glycemic load considers both the GI and the total amount of carbohydrates in a standard serving, such as 100 grams. When a food naturally has both a low glycemic index and a low glycemic load, it slows the digestion process and offers you a sustained energy source rich in fiber and protein, translating to low insulin spikes. This means lentils with low GI and low GL digest slowly and release glucose gently in your blood, without going crazy with blood sugar crashes. That's exactly what people with diabetes need. But is this the only reason why you should have the lentils in your everyday diet? No. Lentils have several amazing health facts too. First, lentils are packed with soluble fiber, a type of fiber that absorbs water and forms a gel to aid the gradual but smooth movement of food through your digestive tract. This way, your intestines get more time to absorb nutrients from your food, and the energy release is gradual. Second, lentils with their bright colors have polyphenols, the natural plant compounds anti-inflammatory, and improve your insulin sensitivity. Don't drink these are mere claims, studies back them. Take a look. A 2022 study published in Nutrients found that eating cooked lentils daily significantly reduced fasting blood sugar in both diabetic and non-diabetic patients. This compound effect of lentils' helpfulness is because of their higher polyphenols, proteins, and potassium content. Another PMC study found that the polyphenol power of lentils can help diabetics against chronic diseases like heart disease and cancer. So speaking of powerful legumes, they're a double win for diabetics, but they're not alone. There's another carb that works just as hard in your bloodstream, chickpeas. With a glycemic index of about 28 to 36 and a low glycemic load of around 5.8, chickpeas are another top-tier carb for diabetics. They're hearty and filling to release glucose into the bloodstream at a snail's pace. And best of all, they're also rich sources of fiber and protein at the same time. A single serving of chickpeas has around 44 grams of carbohydrates, 12.5 grams of fiber, and 14 grams of protein. What does this mean to people with diabetes? Having one serving of chickpeas, you get half of your daily requirement of fiber in one food alone. But this helping hand of chickpeas for diabetics doesn't come from their fiber or protein content alone. In fact, chickpeas are high in amylose, a type of resistant starch that resists digestion in the small intestine. That means your small intestine digests fewer carbs while the rest is moved to the large intestine to feed your good gut bacteria. Do you really want to believe in the incredible power of chickpeas? Well, I have got rock-solid evidence. A 2023 systematic review published in Nutrients analyzed 6 clinical trials to evaluate the effectiveness of chickpeas against blood sugar. It found that the blood sugar spike caused by chickpeas was 43% lower than wheat and 84% lower than that of potatoes. That's a massive finding. Enough to prove that not all starchy foods hit your body the same way, especially when they're a treasure chest of fiber, proteins, and nutrients like iron, magnesium, potassium, calcium, and selenium. So, chickpeas are the answer when you're craving carbs and want to check your blood glucose levels. Carrying a magical hat, they can get along with any recipe. Roast them as snacks, blend them into hummus, or toss them in a grain bowl. They're tasty, versatile, and scientifically proven to help diabetics maintain steady glucose levels. Right now, when you're thinking about how you'll be consuming, wait, there's another grain that's been nourishing people for centuries, yet still manages to surprise scientists. It looks like a grain, cooks like a grain, but technically, it's a pseudo-cereal commonly known as quinoa. Quinoa sits in the sweet spot with a glycemic index between 50 to 54 and a glycemic load of just 18 per cooked cup. That means, despite having a moderate glycemic load, quinoa raises your blood sugar slowly and steadily. It doesn't cause blood sugar spikes as rice or wheat do. Like chickpeas, quinoa also gets a different makeup because it is high in fiber and protein, two nutrients that slow down how fast carbs are broken down in your body. But unlike chickpeas, which have a nutty flavor, quinoa goes for earthy notes. But quinoa doesn't just slow things down, it actively helps your body fight back against diabetes. Yep, studies confirm its effectiveness against diabetes. For instance, a 2023 clinical trial published in Frontiers in Physiology tracked 138 people with glucose intolerance over a year. The group that ate quinoa every day had noticeable results: lower blood sugar after meals, reduced HbA1c, the test that measures your average blood sugar levels during the past 2 to 3 months, and even dropped LDL cholesterol and blood pressure. But can you guess what's the most eye-opening? Only 7.8% of the quinoa group developed diabetes, compared to 20.3% in the control group. Then, fast forward to findings of a 2025 randomized trial published in Frontier Nutrition Journal. Quinoa outdid multigrain diets when it came to lowering blood sugar. Quinoa improved blood glucose levels and helped the participants reduce weight and waist size. The data was crystal clear. Quinoa works better than most whole grains for managing diabetes blood glucose levels and even reversing pre-diabetes. These findings about quinoa's effectiveness against diabetes might seem eye-opening, but there's more. A 2024 review published in Frontiers in Nutrition states that quinoa's antioxidants like vitamin E, C, polyphenols, and saponins support blood sugar control at the cellular level. They help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, two major drivers of insulin resistance that further lead to chronic diseases like heart and kidney failure. So whether you toss it into salads, soups, or stir-fries, quinoa won't mind befriending every recipe you already love. Until now, you might be thinking lentils and cereals are good carbs, and grains don't make a good choice for diabetics. It's time to embrace the tradition. Barley, one of the ancient grains, doesn't have much spotlight, but it makes a wonderful choice for people with diabetes. This chewy, nutty grain has a glycemic index of around 28 to 35 and a glycemic load of 9 to 26, and also packs a unique fiber called beta-glucan. This is the same blood sugar slashing compound you find in oats, but with barley. The content is even higher. 1 cup of barley has 14 grams of fiber, while oats only pack 4 grams. So what difference does barley actually make? It forms a thick gel-like substance in the gut that slows down digestion and glucose absorption. Not only this, but this slow and smooth movement of food also extends the period for nutrient absorption in your intestines. Take this, a 2021 study in Diabetic International showed that barley-based meals significantly improved insulin sensitivity and lowered blood sugar levels in people with diabetes, especially those who are not taking metformin. Did you know what's even more impressive? Barley is also a rich source of magnesium, selenium, and B vitamins, the nutrients in your body needs to support insulin function, reduce inflammation, and prevent chronic disease. But what's the best way to incorporate barley in your daily diet? Whole grain hulled barley is the best choice, unlike those processed pearled versions. You can soak it for easy cooking and then add it to soups, toss it into salads, or cook it as a rice substitute. Let's not forget to thank nature for getting you good carb sources for your diabetes.